Okay, there we go. That should work. All right, so we're going to keep going with the stream segments. But guys, I like to elaborate a little bit on them. Pick a goal worth sacrificing for. Filter every decision and judgment through that goal. A lot of people are walking through life and their goal is about themselves. And I just want to caution everybody against that. Like, you want to make the goal about other people, because your pain tolerance for other people, like the amount of pain you can endure when doing it for somebody you care about, is a lot greater. And so then the question might be, well, Timmy, I don't care about these people. I think the answer there is, you're a human, they're a human. You have to get close to them, get proximate to them, because it's very unlikely that you can be, what are those 4 words? It's like, let's see, Brian Tracy, just mercy, get proximate. Let's see. I don't think it's Brian Tracy. Brian Stevenson. Yeah, it's Stevenson. Get proximate, change the narrative. Yeah, 4 steps to change the world. Get proximate, change the narrative, stay hopeful, and learn to be uncomfortable. Like, those 4 things. Like, if you get close to the issue, it's very hard to not care about somebody. And then you start to change the narrative and stay hopeful, learn to be uncomfortable in that situation, you'll be good to go. Anyway, moving on. Figure out a way to start and grow towards the goal of the day. Love that. We're going to move into more segments because we do want to spend some time on Reddit just helping people out. Because, you know, this is closest to getting people live on the show that we can. So, I forget what this was about. I think this was about somebody who has a lot of energy, but their friends kind of are Debbie Downers and they don't have a lot of energy. So people aren't matching your energy. That's what we're going to go over right here. Here we go. If you feel like people never match your energy, listen to this and find like-minded friends. Maybe you're the energetic friend, or the one focused on personal development, or simply the one who likes to be outdoors all the time, but your friends are the opposite. Here are 4 things to do. First, have a clear, detailed vision to invite people into. What do you want to do together consistently? If you and your friend group are just drifting, it's hard to have a good experience with them. Second, share this vision with them. Sit them down and share the whole thing. Be like, hey guys, I thought a lot about what I want friendships to look like, and this is what I came up with. Is that something you guys would be on board with? Or are we kind of off base and we have different interests? Third, dream about the future where the vision is the reality with your friends. So when you're in your friend group and you're watching a movie, but you dream about hiking, be like, dude, how cool would it be to hike the Grand Canyon? Or how cool would it be to peak Mount Everest? I can't imagine the excitement and the bonding that would happen in our friendship. Like, focus on those things that are a benefit to them and a benefit to you about the shared future. Fourth, if none of this resonates, find new friends in places where people might have similar interests. So think about your vision. Think about what a person who's doing that vision would do and go there. Clarity turns your energy from a question mark into a place where people can finally meet you. Dig that. Finish that segment. We'll go around 2030 for my VA. 1 second. All right, that one is pretty self-explanatory. If you ask me, it's like, know what you want from your friendships and literally just write it down. Like, I didn't know what I wanted from a church for so long. I just didn't like church. Didn't like church at all. And I was like, no church is good. I'm never going to get a church. And then it's like, okay, well, what would church have to be for me to like it? So I made this document. As of 10/26, when we were thinking about moving churches, it was like, I have these stages of community. It's like small talk, consistent activity, vulnerability, more consistent activity. It's like, I don't want to be doing small group and church every week. I want to be like, hey, we're in each other's lives like 5+ hours a week, we're choosing to live close to each other. We're choosing to go do things together. We're choosing to intertwine our lives. That's what more consistent activity is to me. And vulnerability is like we're actually sharing real stuff about our life. Consistent activity, small talk, etc. Then time on goals, like when you're a Christian, a lot of times what you're trying to do is share the gospel or bear burdens with one another. So it's like the goal is either sharing the gospel or bearing burdens. And I think everybody in community should be spending time either sharing the gospel, bearing burdens, or both. Money and time, sharing the gospel, bearing burdens, or both. And then using each other's skills to share the gospel, bear burdens, or both. Like that's the goal we should be going after. But this can be anything when you're talking about community. Like the goal can be building a business. It can be building a nonprofit, but this doesn't need to be like some weird codependency thing. It's like, hey, you care about building this nonprofit. I care about building this nonprofit. We both volunteer. You care about building this business. I care about building this business. We both create an LLC and spend 20 hours a week in addition to our jobs building this business. Or we like 20 hours a week and $1,500 a month in marketing, like to build this business, or hiring labor, or your connections, my advertising, like whatever it may be. It's like time on goal, money towards goal. Interdependence towards goal would be like, hey, I have a lot of discretionary money. I have the skill of getting money, so I'll contribute that. And this person's like, hey, I have a lot of discretionary advertising knowledge. I'll use my advertising knowledge. And this person's like, I know how to run operations. So you get 3 of you, 1 to fund, 1 to advertise, 1 to run operations. So now you have delivery and fulfillment, sales, and the bank, right? And so that's what interdependence towards the goal could look like in building a business, interdependence in a nonprofit. And then it could be like just getting fit together. It's like, hey, we eat dinner together 3 times a week, which we spend time on, we spend money on, and we depend on each other to cook. And that builds our friendships and gets us healthy dinners so that we can stay fit and become better friends. Like there's so many ways to have interdependence towards the goal, or money and time toward the goal, or just time toward the goal. And so this is what I was thinking about when I was thinking about my church community. And I was like, what would a weekly rhythm look like? And I think churches are a business, so this looks very robotic, but this is really how it goes, because what I realized is when you're tithing to a church, you're giving 10% or more of your income. So if you're pulling home $7,000 as a household, you might be giving $700 a month, or $4,000 as a household, $400 a month. That's a good chunk of your income. Like a lot can be done with $400 a month when you are, when that's 10%. Just a lot can be done with 10%, period, right? And so I was just thinking, like, for me to be like giving 10% to a church I'm dissatisfied with, when the whole goal is to invite people to church. Like if I wouldn't refer the church, how can I justify like staying there and giving my money? Not to look at like a business, but like that's how I would evaluate a business. And I get that church isn't business, but it's also not meant to be mediocre. So I was like, what part does church play? And I was thinking about this in a business because, you know, you get people into a church, you want people to stay at church, and like you get people into a business, you want them to stay at a business. Like they're very similar. And I was like, church, the actual Sunday service, why do I not like that? And there's sometimes where I like church and sometimes where I do like church, but I didn't like church specifically because it felt like it was misplaced. Like it was trying to serve a function it's not meant to serve. Like I think church is built for like customer nurture, like bottom of funnel conversion. Like when you have loved somebody really well, you've built a relationship with them, then you invite them to church, be like, hey, this is why I loved you so well, because I know somebody who loves you so well. I know how much he loves me, and I want you to know how much he loves you. Like they hear about that at church, right? Maybe they've had a soft conversation about it, but like church like drives the message home. So it's like bottom of funnel conversion. It's like, that's where you get people who say, I believe in Christ, and people who like get baptized, right? And it's like, you're like nurturing the people who are already in your church, right? Like people who have spent the week loving people need to be loved. And so that's a way to like nurture them. But you notice I said spend the week loving people. Like sometimes people don't do that. Sometimes we spend the week loving ourselves. And then we like are like, oh, I need to be loved some more. It just bugged me. And so I was like, church is meant to do customer like nurture. It's meant to be like loving and uplifting when you're at the end of yourself because you've gone out so far on obedience. And I felt like I wasn't going out so far on obedience, so I needed more action, more challenging there, right? Small group, similar thing, like customer nurture. And so I felt like there was some nurturing going on, but there wasn't any like, hey, let's grow the church. So I was like, yes, these two things are necessary, but only when the top of the funnel, like working the top of the funnel, has been so hard that now you need to be nurtured some more. So what would the top of the funnel be? That's going out to love people. So I was like, if you had 2 weekly big group recreational activities, because the big thing is you want to meet people where they are. Like, you don't want to invite somebody who's never known anything about Christ to church. Like, yeah, they might say yes. Yeah, you might get a small percentage of people, but you're not going to build a relationship there. You want to be like, hey, what does this person like to do? Let's go do that consistently. And so if the church has rotating recreational activities that you can invite people to, you know, not only does it make the people at church like more evangelistic, more like loving, which is the goal, like become more loving, but it also gets new people in, and then you can like invite people to meals afterwards. And the whole thing of this is like, if somebody wanted to be a better person to share the gospel, like have a kind of framework, what would you do for them? Like, what process would you lay out? It's like, I would have big events for them. And I would tell people to invite them, the people they meet at the big events, to meals afterwards. And then I would make sure that the small groups like sacrifice together, like in a practical way. Like, I think Christianity about bearing burdens together. Again, I'm gonna go through this quickly because I don't think too many people care about this, but this is what I was thinking about when I did my ideal church. And so it goes back to this stream segment, because this clear vision that you share with people, like, you need this clarity. And if you can get this level of clarity with your friends, it's super important. Like, I was like, I would like small group if we did practical stuff together. If we solved practical problems together, it would help convert people. It would help nurture the current people. It would help get people into the thing. And it would like also help us invite people to church. Like, it would do so much if we just solved practical problems in people's lives together, focused on health, wealth, and relationships, like the 3 things people care about. Like, it could be a small group that works out together. It could be a small group that budgets and invests together. It could be a small group that simply hosts an extra event to get people in, or throws a dinner party every week or every other week or whatever it may be. You know, it's just a really cool thing. And, then just some education. Like, I think sermons are long-winded, and you can make them into bite-sized tips that people focus on applying, as opposed to the function of being a Christian be to listen at church. Like, that's just not it. We need less emphasis on listening at church and more emphasis on like obeying. Yeah, you know, that's where you can reinforce the vision and talk to people or whatever, similar to what a business podcast would be. So I was just thinking, like, through church, like I was thinking through a business, because I was like, I know what a good business experience is like. And church is, I mean, it has people that gives them money. It's like, it's revenue. And then if they didn't do this service, they wouldn't get this money. So, you know, I think this would be another cool thing, like shared meals for members. But I was like, if a church did all of these, it would be like, we're growing at the top and we're nurturing at the bottom. And these shared meals is kind of like, you know, it's like discipleship here, discipleship in the podcast. Yeah, discipleship at small group. And then there's a lot of nurturing, but there's also a lot of inviting people in. And I think both of those things are needed. Anyway, on to my third segment. Sorry about that, guys. Just got on that little tangent because I was excited about that. Okay, so this is what I was reading this morning on my walk. And so basically, I kind of forgot what they were talking about. It was basically a question of like, I want to be more social, but I'm not social. And I got hurt from a relationship a long time ago. How can I be more social? And so if you have social anxiety, this one is for you. Here we go. Is there a way? I'm going to restart. Let's see. 32:30. Is there a way to fix social anxiety without becoming someone you're not? The answer is yes. Anxiety doesn't come from who you are. It comes from experiences you've had in the past. So let's get you some positive ones. First, you want to get your reps in. Think about hanging out with people instead of 2 times per year, up it to 2 times per week. Find 1 to 2 consistent activities that you can go to weekly instead of the regular quarterly friendly gathering that is people you eventually forget about. Get your reps in, because the more exposure you have, the less each rep is important. Second, have great conversation by asking great questions. When you ask an open-ended question, it leads to a story. And when you hear that story, you get to learn about people and what they care about. So when you ask great questions, you have great conversations, because people love to talk about themselves and be heard. Third, embarrass yourself quickly so you stop judging yourself, because you realize the right people laugh it off with you / comfort you. And then even more importantly, you realize that you can laugh it off with you and you can brush it off. All right, guys, we're going to scrap that, redo this whole segment. So 34 minutes is when this segment actually is. Here we go. Is there a way to fix social anxiety without becoming someone you're not? The answer is yes. Social anxiety doesn't come from who you are. It becomes from experiences you've had. So instead of the negative experiences you've had, let's get you some positive ones. The first thing we have to do is get your reps in. Think about hanging out with people 2 times per week instead of 2 to 4 times per year. And the goal here is to hang out with people so much that each individual hangout matters less, and you're just getting your reps in and working it so you feel more comfortable in social situations. The second thing we want to do is be a great conversationalist. You have great conversation by asking great questions. When you ask a good open-ended question, it encourages people to tell a story. And when they tell a story, you get to find out details about people based on what they emphasize in the story and little experiences that they've had in life. Then you can ask follow-up questions and really get to know that person. The third thing we want to do is embarrass yourself quickly. I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. We want to attend a lot of social situations, ask great questions, and embarrass ourselves quickly, because when we embarrass ourselves in these social situations, we stop judging ourselves. And a lot of times, the reason we have that anxiety in our head is because we're judging ourselves super hard. Instead of judging yourself, realize that the right people will laugh it off with you / comfort you. And more importantly, you can laugh it off with yourself and comfort yourself. These 3 simple actions will help you solve the initial question. All right, we dig that. So we're done with all the segments now. Now we're gonna get on Reddit, see if we can help some people out. Can you guys see the Reddit page? Yes, you can. We're on stream live here, trying to get on Reddit, help people out. How damaging is it to not have a social media presence? I don't think it's damaging at all. Let's see. I love my BF. He's literally the best man in the world. I just can't get enough of him. We are quite young, but we already have together for 2.5 years. He's always so supportive, so sweet, and intimacy is crazy good with him, and I just overall adore this man. I'm moody. He handles it. For who I am, I just love him. He always listens. He always wants the best for me. And he can't wait to wipe me up. Of course, we fight something. There are misunderstandings or other problems, but you know what? We always fix it. I'm so curious what the issue is. Oh, it's just a happy / positive event. That's epic. No matter what happens, even when he or I react, hurt each other. I love my That's really cool. Look at that. Look at all the positivity on Reddit. I thought she was gonna like loop it around. I was like, we're ready to start a post if you're asking for advice. That's cool. Good for them. Good for them. How damaging is it to not have a social media presence? 27 male, pre-isolating most of my life, and I've just recently started to get out of my comfort zone and form relationships. I'm going to college for the first time. So I end up being around a lot of people younger than me, and a few times now, people have asked for my Instagram. I've had to hit them with the dreaded, I don't use social media. It always makes me wonder what I'm missing. Am I missing out on some vital way? Yeah, I mean, it's not detrimental to relationships, but it does make it a little bit harder to connect. But yeah, having it is 1000% more damaging than not. Not much advice I can do here. Connecting with people there. Best steak in Austin. Amazing. 22-year-old girl seeking life advice from men over 30. I'm curious about the click. And this is the Ask Men Over 30 Reddit, which is similar to Reddit Adulting. I'm not even in that Reddit. See, I could join it. Let's see. Some of the best advice I've ever received has come from older men. This is so funny that she's like men over 30 and then older men. It's like a 31-year-old man is not an old man. Even when I didn't like it at first, it usually proved to be right eventually. What are the things you wish you knew at my age? What lessons, habits, are there choices, routines, or mindsets that shaped your life in a positive way? I thank everyone. I really appreciate every comment, even repeated ones. Hearing something multiple times actually helped me enjoy it. Doesn't take away from my experience, but rather makes it easier. Look at that. So many comments, and that's awesome. Feeling lonely and left behind. Anyone else relate? Here we go. 4 hours ago. So this is one I can actually kind of get behind or help out with. Let's see. Hi everyone, I'm 22, female. I'm currently in uni, always struggling with connections. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to go out, and I mostly spent time at home doing chores. I don't know what that means. But I missed out on the experiences most kids have, like hanging out or just being carefree. Now I spend most of the time at the house on weekends or weekdays when I don't have class to attend to. I have people who I talk to at school but can't say they are like close friends. I have this feeling, so much from high school going on with their lives, new friends. Well, I'm just stuck. Sucks, honestly. Feeling stuck again. A lot of young people feeling stuck, guys. I'm young too, but it's just easy to feel stuck. I always see people hanging out and posting. I'm just fine. Here's that. I'm in my final year of my life where I was in school, my house, of which I'd like to change. Problem is, I don't know where to start or how to get that close friend. I'm curious if anyone else has felt this kind of loneliness and how you manage it. First question to them is, what makes a close friend to you? Because, a lot of people want a close friend. I'm like, for me, I'm a quality time, physical touch guy, so I need that quality time and that physical touch. Not really that physical touch. I really only need that from Gracie. But quality time, yes, I do need. So if you don't spend time with me or you're not in my life, like, I don't even know who you are. Like, out of sight, out of mind. Unfortunately, it's a horrible habit. Like, I want to get better about calling my family, but if you don't live within 15 minutes of me, it's kind of easy to forget about you. It just is. So first thing is, what makes a close friend to you? Doesn't know how to start or manage. Okay. For me, it's quality time. So this might influence my answer. To start making close friends, I would do a few things. So guys, this is like, I feel like everything is this answer, but one, you want to attend consistent weekly activities. Think board games, sports, hobby clubs, study groups. 2.0 version of this is hosting them. Consistently inviting people. Okay. After you attend the consistent weekly events, you want to And she also asked for sharing the story, so I'll share my story a little bit. But after you attend consistent weekly events, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I would say invite people into your world without it being polished, That's like the yeah. So guys, I'm just, the advice I'm giving is like, attend the consistent weekly activities, invite people into your world, and make X number of invites per week, non-negotiable. Pick a number you feel comfortable with, but make those invites. And that's because like they have a lot of focus on their world, and they want to start making friends, but they don't know how to. And I think close friends are a function of time. You have to clock 100 to 200 hours with a group of people. So that means committing through the hard stuff and making sure each person has something worth committing for. This could be a shared interest or purpose or mission. And then I'll say a little bit about my story. When I got to college, I was lonely because I ghosted all my friends from never letting anybody in. Met some people who really knew how to love and clocked 20 to 50 hours a week with them over the next 4 years. Of those people till this day, and it helps me think about what I want for our community. That's pretty cool. I like that one. Hopefully that helps them. Let's see. Let's see if we can make a segment out of this, ladies and gents. I feel like I'm sneezy the dwarf right now. My nose is like... Okay, like this. Okay, we'll actually do this. It actually did well, I think. We're gonna change some stuff though. This hook that we liked was... There's probably a reason most people don't build close friendships. Here's why. You should spend 200 plus hours with someone to be a close friend. Most people don't spend All right, let's see. Schedule one recurring weekly activity With the same faces can expect to show up consistently. 2.0 version of this is hosting it. Treat the first 10 hours with someone as warm-up time, removing pressure for instant closeness. Ooh. Simple, less expectations than requirements. Notice one person who already feels safe and invests micro moments of presence with them. I don't like that one. It's not something I would say at all. You're not late, you're just running up. Look at that, we got a segment for tomorrow. Love it. All right, let's see if we can do one more kind of Reddit response. Hating the new job. This one should work. Casual conversation, though. Let's see. I started a new job. I worked for many years before, but the industry I am in now is completely new to me, and for the first time in a long time, I felt this bad in the first few days of a new job. I'm completely confused and feel bad from the moment I got here until the last minute. I feel like the job doesn't appeal to me, and I always feel on guard. Also, I feel like most of the people I work with are men, and they don't let me in. It's only been a few days, but it feels really terrible. I'm thinking of staying until I find a new job, but I also want to quit right away. How do you deal with situations like this? I don't know if this is community or communication advice. It's more like life advice. That's so funny. It's crazy. Private investigator. Oh, this is an interesting situation. Some of the Reddit is just drama, which I gotta be careful not to get caught up in drama. Because I want to help people with their community issues, but some of this is just drama. But oh no. Dang. That's sad. I don't know. This is a tough one. I feel like this is like one of those. Yeah. Anyway, that was a long one. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Ooh, self-love. Let's see if this is short enough. Oh, interesting. I actually like this one. All right, guys. So we're gonna make one more little segment off of this because I I really like this segment. I have no advice for them because I didn't really ask a question, but I think it's a good segment because the self love like stuff is can be very irritating. And then I gotta go scoop some poop out of people's backyards. What's the issue here?